It's just another Manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. Hell no. I don't bet on Sunday. I was chomping at the bit, man. It's all about discipline here at Call to the Pen HQ with the big man, with the big mouth from the Big Apple. You know what they call the big man in France? Le big man. Le homme grand, probably. Jay's like, you know there's Canadians in here. You better get that one right. Fire Sports, Damani, OPMG, Michael K, Jeff L. Everyone here nice and early. The early bird crew. D-gens to the max. Listen, we just do it like no one else does. This is right. I mean, is that like bragging? I can't even tell anymore. I know, like you're supposed to be confident without being arrogant, but is that even bragging? I just know we're different. It's a faster show at MLB absolutely anywhere. Ring the bell, press the thumb, whatever other, digits and symbols. Just press everything on YouTube, right? It's unbelievable, man. If only they care if the show is any good, we get 1 million likes, right? All right, let's get after it. Nice short slate. I kind of like these. Like I said, I take my day of rest on Sunday. I've been on a freaking snide also. Just like slowly dripping, and then it's up, and then it's flat. And I guess it's a testament to the process because I feel like I've done nothing but lose, and I'm not really down on the year yet. But let's turn the beat around, right? Start it up. There's always one of these games every single day. Right, where like the model just kind of breaks to the over. And it speaks to the offensive environment and it speaks to the offenses themselves. I'm talking about our Reds, right? The Reds under the our umbrella, which is very funny that when we started the year, we were straight up betting the Reds and betting the Nats and betting the A's. And two of those three are like viable offenses now, right? The Reds are a viable offense. Damani, what's up? Small slate, meant to call you out. Yeah, you look for your best plays. Again, I've been doing just that. I posted exactly that. I think I have 6 plays today. Although when you're playing around even money, you probably should be looking for odd numbers. So the third win, gets you over the finish line, where the 3 and 3 across 6 sometimes leaves you flat. It's just so deflating. Like a young man in for a quickie. So unsatisfying. I know I got rounders people here, right? Wherever the baseball betting goes, as does the poker crew. So every day there's one of these. It's Brandon Williamson, the youngster, the rookie. As much as I like the Reds, and I do like the pitching staff, these guys need a bit of work. Pitching in that environment half the time doesn't help. On the road in B-More at Baltimore against Cole Irvin for the Blackbirds with orange vest minus 135 favorites here. This is just like gas can against gas can. I actually took a closer look at Cole Irvin for the Athletic a couple weeks ago, but then it was weird. He got some weird usage. He came in at the end of the game. I don't know. Maybe sometimes they just are what we think they are. 36 2/3 from Williamson. 5.4 ERA. It's a 1.4 whip, 827 OPS. All the earned run indicators above 5. Like the 5.10 K minus walk ERA is the lowest. For all the people wondering what I'm referring to, it's my pitching sheet. You follow me on Twitter at John Laghezza. The pin tweet will take you to a link to Sharpener, and that link is live. That bookmark is live. KWERA is a K minus walk ERA. And it can be especially helpful for modelers using earn run estimators or indicators, whatever you call them, that don't always maybe count K minus walk the way they should. So you like one, again, you mix them in. My answer is always, I'm not saying the average button, but it's an amalgamation of them all, right? I want to look at Sierra. I want to look at PFIP. I want to look at these things. Expected ERA, one of them, 6 3/4 for Williamson. Yikes. 8% walk is not really bad, but 17K is way too low. K minus walk below 9. Swing strike rate hovered right around that single digit mark, right at 10. 24 whiff, not any good. 88 zone contact. So that's what's going on. So check it out. You got the 5.4 ERA, 1.4 whip. That's on a 273 BABIP. So, I mean, it really stands to gain. Brian Rose, salute, capo status, achieved. It stands to gain that Brian Williamson has actually been on the fortunate end here. 46 fly ball, 13.5 barrel, 48 hard hit. That's 2 homer 9, 390 xWOBA, 444 expected WOBA on contact. I mean, it's been a disaster, right? So he really doesn't seem to have an answer for anybody. Right, he's a lefty. Lefty's hitting for average against him, 321 batting average, lefty violence. They haven't hit a single home run, but you flip the other side. Righty's batting 250, but 860 OPS, 2.4 homer 9. And it's not just at home. Again, I have all these splits in the sheet. I find them so helpful, right? ERA up near 5 on the road, xFIP north of 5, 270 batting average allowed. So it's been a really rough go for Williamson. Righties kind of having their, way with him as far as power. But again, he hasn't really managed to get lefties out either. Huge problem there. Cole Irvin on the bump for the Blackbirds, 23 and a third. Bit of mixed usage, though. But a 7.7 ERA, 1.76 whip, 919 OPS. That is not any good. The expected ERA up near 9. Holy crap. PFIP at 6. Stuff plus in the fastball down at 71. This is not what you want to see. 9 swinging strike, 25 CSW. Also jumping off the page, funny enough, 20% whiff is about as low as she goes, but also 23% foul ball rate. Extremely high, 89 zone contact. And then just more power stats, right? 42 fly ball. When you get to the high contact, that's when you want to quote contact, right? You got to be careful quoting contact as a pitcher skill. But with 90% contact, we're going to be looking at some of that. So again, this is Cole Irvin if you're just jumping aboard. A disaster, right? 42 fly ball, 14.5 barrel, nearly 2 homer 9, 426 expected WOBA. Also, lefties batting 294 against him. Justice, isn't that like the Spider-Man GIF? Man, I wish I would have had this. We could have printed this one out, Jay. So the same way we mentioned Williamson, lefty, struggling to get lefties out. Irvin, the same, 294 batting average allowed to lefties. Like Williamson, no home runs allowed. And like, I was going to say, like Williamson, he's got the 2.4 homer 9 to righties, except he is a 321 BA 973 OPS allowed to righties. So it's everything Cincy, right? It's everything Cincy. I actually, I finally put my money where my mouth was. And as more of a strict better, it becomes difficult. I don't want to bet 15 guys, I actually jumped into Jock Market and beat up Jock Market with Padres. I don't know the top guys. Point being, whether it's Jock Market or Underdog or Price Picks or those things, we've been really good at identifying these, and a lot of people are going to be on this. But it was like, it was just kind of everybody. So here, let's bring it up. We can get some names here because we have a bit of time today. I know I've taken forever on this scheme, but this is the one we want to be looking at if you're going to be getting down with picks and props and stuff for sure. They've all been great. McLean's been great against lefties. I don't want to go with last 10 PAs, But you can zoom it out. So Newman's been death on lefties, 30 PAs, 350 batting average, 261 ISO. I was looking at his hit plus runs. Prop, it was over 2.5. His total bases is probably good, though. Because the Baltimore bullpen has been trash as well. And then, like I said, McLean, last 29 PAs, he's a 310 batting average, 900 OPS, 276 ISO. They've all kind of gotten it. Everyone's kind of gotten it done. And I know if you're chasing the recent stuff, then it just starts to pop, because then you're getting Steer involved, you're also getting Indy involved, you're also getting Senzel involved. This one has a chance to spin off the rails for Irvin. So I'm over here, although just not to be too sneaky. What do the team totals look like, Jay? I should have had you kind of scroll through them. Whenever it's a 10, okay, it's 5. What I was going to see, that was what I was looking for. And it has to do with kind of minimizing variables, right? Hopefully feathering the cap incoming, something one of the things you keep without the game analysis is. When you look for over 10, I don't really like 11 because the 10th run is hard to get and it doesn't win for us. Sometimes if you break down the 10 total into the team totals, you'll find that one of them is not 5 but 4.5, and it's a decent money. So, Jay, I think I prefer that. And I'm going to finish it up with, like I said, the Baltimore bullpen last 35 and a third, 7 ERA, 1.8 whip, but this ERA at 4.5 anyway. 315 batting average allowed, 89 zone contact, 9% barrel. It's a ton of barrels from the bullpen. So I think I'd rather eliminate the variables and need a ton of runs. We'll see. I posted the over 10 this morning, and then that is what dawned on me during. So I do think it's all good and it's all gravy. But again, I think you're going to get like McLean plus Newman base hit also. Like you could cue that up also. That'd be something I would definitely be down with, Jay. And then on the Baltimore side, I know I printed Hayes, beast against lefties. You really want Mountcastle, but he hasn't played, right? He's normally the auto bet for Baltimore whenever they're facing a lefty. Mountcastle just has been so money. Like, look up those game logs, ridiculous. But I'm going to go with Hayes today. I printed that. I'd rather go with the base hit for us, though, Jay. Can we get that? That's the one that I really want. And it's positive money? No, not singles. Either got to be, there's no, it's hits. Hits. I'm sorry, everybody. Hey, sometimes this is such as live TV, It also speaks to how in-depth the menus can be. And hey, look at how fast we're able to parse through this on BetStamp. The video people could see. BetStamp.app/call to the pen. Let's get that one in. I really like that one. I really like the Newman and McLean hits. I also like the Austin Hayes. Jay, if we're going to win 5, you could hit them all, brother, man. It's all good. Don't let the cursor mislead you. It's all good. So I'm just over across the board here. Cincinnati bullpen has been a little bit better, but they've also given up a ton of fly balls, a ton of barrels, a ton of home runs. So really, I think this one just spins. I think this one could spin out of control. This could be one of those ones where, DFS, if you don't have it, you lose, and we go over 10 before the F5. I'm getting I know it's Baltimore, which might keep people away, hopefully. But I'm getting that, complete meltdown feel. All right, now we'll hurry up to the rest. It's the Brewers and Colin Ray plus 150 dogs on the road against the Let's Go Mets Go and the old man, Justin Verlander. Take a look at Ray. He's been okay. It's up and down. Let's check it out. 4.88 ERA. Not great. But 1.3 whip, not terrible. 740 OPS. That's what we're right around average. Sierra at 4.5. Expected ERA and you're 4.5. You're right. Everything right there is kind of meh. 20% K, 9% walk, man. 9 swing strike, 24 whiff, man. 28 O swings. That's where it's starting to get bad. He's also survived on a 270 BABIP. Having kept the ball on the ground 45% of the time. Getting hit hard often, right? 42 hard hit, 7 barrel is actually kind of high for 46 ground ball. So I think Ray's day of reckoning might be coming. I think the books are on that, and that's why the Mets are at minus 180. Gosh, Verlander on the bump. Again, with the old guys, that can be great. I always like to be careful with middling stats. 4.5 ERA, but a 1.2 whip, 723 OPS, expected ERA below 4, 6% walk, 35 O swing rate. That's the part of Justin Verlander we expect. But 20% K, 10 swinging strike, 24 CSW. This is hard to believe it's Justin Verlander. This almost deserves like a double check. 22 whiff, 53 first strike. Not at all what you'd expect from Justin Verlander. He's got hit hard, but he's cut the ball down, which has been his saving grace. Right, a 357 expected wall ball on contact, extremely low. The walks also kind of saving him a bit. I know my Met fan people are really upset. They started to get some distance. Right, he went 6-1, 2 of 3. But then the last time out, you got distance, went 7. I think he gave up some runs on the way out the door, and he ended up with 7-4. So we've seen the gems. This one gets a little hard to read, right? Because it almost feels like gem or not. I'm going to actually go gem here. And I'm starting to lean on. Maybe this Mets run line. What's the run line look like? Jay, how much are they affording us that? This is something we always talk about. I love to talk about this stuff because I had the money line at minus 180. You got to look at the run line. It can be considered greedy after win by 2. But we are in the environment now where we've seen this, where teams are more apt to just give up when it's not close. They'll pitch the last guy in the bullpen, and that's pretty much it. So plus 110. So they're giving us almost a full buck. We get 90 cents on it. You know what, Jay? Hold it. Maybe we'll pair the Mets money line. All right, let's just keep that one in mind. I like to give everyone just a thought of the process. Let's walk through the finish line here. It's because of the Milwaukee offense. A terrible 203 Team BA last 500 plate appearances, 276 OBP. That's a 626 OPS, bottom 3 in K, 29% K, 13 swinging strike, 81 zone contact. So if Verlander's going to get the K pitch going, it's going to be today. Milwaukee dead last expected wOBA against righties last 30 days, 288. Though when I want to take my lumps in public, I don't have enough of them. I've had a long conversation with a data scientist today. Everyone, make sure you're following John Anderson, by the way, at Rollerball, or his leaderboards are really ridiculous. And if you bet with any kind of money or play DFS with any kind of money whatsoever, they're going to pay for themselves in the first week or a couple of weeks, the whole year. The advanced leaderboards with every split is absolutely bananas. But the idea being, he's saying last 30, you're always going to get this from the really smart quant guys, right? Derek Hardy's going to tell you that lefty-righty splits don't matter because the sample doesn't happen in a large enough sample soon enough to stabilize. I got that out of time. I generally go up against these things. I've spoke to, you speak to hitters and hitting coaches. They say sometimes hitters can pick up the ball better. If you get to see the thing a tenth of a millisecond earlier, that'll matter. Anyway, Mets offense starting to show us those signs that we're looking for. Again, will they disappoint us? I don't know. The K rate, 25, just worse than average, but they're not chasing that number 30. They're making lots of contact. That's at 87. Putting the ball in the air, they're hitting it hard. 40 fly ball, 45 hard hit rate. Those are the things we're generally looking for. So I think the Mets get it done today easily. The bullpen has not been great. 3.5 ERA, hiding a 5.11 Sierra. This for the Mets. So maybe the answer is even F5. But again, with Verlander on the bump, when he's good, it's like 7 or 8 innings. Also, it's part of that calculus, right? I'm constantly pushing and pulling between F5 and F9. And I like to be very clear with people. I don't have some magic formula. I try and use the data and backtest it the best of my ability to come up with kind of objective solutions. And that goes to where I wanted to get with betting overs. Somebody tagged me. I put the explanation, but they asked me anyway, I guess, why I took down the F5 team total stuff on the algo board. And it's pretty simple. Bullpens are disgusting. And we've dropped a ton of F5 overs and then had them turn around in the 6th. And then I think when you add in the extra 2% chance or whatever it is of the ghost runner affecting it, running up the over, I think if you go under, you're betting on the pitchers, it should be an F5. And I think if you're betting on an over, you should be looking at all those other factors and going full game. Now, that's not the answer. There's always going to be events, single events that flip-flop. But that being said, I like to be objective, so that's why I took it down. There were people that, OPMG, possibly you, all the other people. I got tons of this stuff. But you in particular, I don't mean to point you out because you're one of my faves, obviously. I didn't want people seeing the light of the things I used to chase and bet and thinking that as a signal that I'm not taking. Right? So the math is also there. You can still obviously do it all. I'm not hiding anything. But I'm not highlighting it the way that I was because that was one of the first things I used to look for as a bet. But we saw that start to go south. And it's not because it wasn't working so much as the books juiced us up where the average team total was at 120, 125, 130. And they were letting us get away with that. See, if you understand all the math, when you're looking at sets of 125, 130, you could do the math on round robins and they're profitable. So we're almost always hitting 2 of 3. And the 2 of 3 was gravy. Sometimes you get to 3 of 3. But when you have to start paying minus 165, even the 2 of 3 can almost catch up with you. It's truth. Because when you have the full losses, juice it compounds. So Milwaukee and the Mets plus 3 million words on stuff that wasn't about that. Give me the bets. Next up, it's Sunny Day Gray plus 185 dog, man. Earlier on in the year, you'd never believe this. Gray looking so good right on the surface. On the road against Spencer Strider, man. Those Braves are ridiculous. And Strider, kind of coming all right. We talk about waves all the time. Spencer Strider looking like he's about to up wave. And when Strider up waves, top sign wave, we just seen him go bananas, right? We saw that 6. He went 6, gave up 1, but 0 walks and 9 strikeouts, right? That's the big thing for him. And I think this just might set him off. Strider 3.93 ERA, which is a bit high for him, but a 115 whip, 662 OPS, 146 stuff plus in the fastball. That might be very best in the league. All the earned run indicators below 3. And I always say, whenever you see 2 of them below 3, you got to pay attention. XFIP, K minus walk, Sierra, all below 3. Sierra 2.7. 30% K minus walk, right? Not 30% K. K rate at 39. Man, 20 swinging strike, 35 CSW, it's just unbelievable. And a 31% ball rate, just off the page to the downside. 69 first strike, 38 O swing, big bully champion. Let's flip over to Sonny Gray. I mentioned the surface stats, right? 2.56 ERA, and a 6.26 OPS. Both excellent. But a 1.3 whip, 4.11 Sierra, 25% K, 9% walk, right? You can see how sometimes surface stats don't really tell the tale, right? 37% ball rate for Gray, 30% O swing, well below average. And I think here's the big problem is the 88% zone contact. So while he has kept the ball down, this is Sonny Gray, 47 ground ball, 30 hard hit via Fangraphs, right down low. Not many home runs. I just think you pitch in a contact to Atlanta and you're in a lot of trouble. I mean, they are number one, last 500 plate appearances in run, homers, average, OBP, OPS, but also K rate, also hard hit rate, WOBA, 155 WRC plus, also number one expected WOBA against righties, last 30. That's a 376. Sorry to put a bow on that lefty-righty thing when I was kind of demeaning it. I personally think 30 days is fine. I was asking about a lefty split, and I think he was right, where even in 30-day samples, you might not get enough lefties. Where it matters, you may get bad lefties, a couple good lefties, and it could skew the whole thing. So I think I might move to 60-day splits as far as expected WOBA. I may even start to post the actual WOBA, which sometimes when you test it is more predictive, which is just weird. Because I would, right, you always think the expected stuff, which is a better descriptor, would be more predictive of outcomes, and it doesn't seem to test out that way. So Minnesota offense is not any good. They're one of the worst strikeout teams in the league, 27% K. I mean, there is a legitimate chance here that Strider strikes out, 14 batters. So that would, do we have crazy old props like that, Jay? I don't know if we have those. But that'd be something I'd be looking at. Like, I'm not going to pay juice for whatever. He probably is, I bet you the line is 8.5, 9.5, right? 10. But if there were alt strikeouts, that I could dig on because, again, he has a legitimate chance of going for the dozen. So I think that's where I'm at. I like Atlanta to cover this one up full game as well. Next up, excuse me. Okay, Jay said, Walt, it happens. Again, that's why you got to shop around. It's also why, funny enough, just because you don't see them on BetStamp doesn't mean it doesn't have links to books that do have them. Right, so that's a fact. I also imagine it'll become more robust as we go. Next up, couple of lefties. Couple of lefties with walk issues. Couple of lefties with, walk issues and a history of giving up home runs. It's the Tigres from Detroit. Hey, Mom, man, I got something in my throat. On the road in Texas against Andrew Heaney. Texas. Pretty heavy fade, minus 205. I'm just automatically never going up against the Texas offense anymore. Jay, do we have first 5 team totals for Detroit? That might be sharp. That would be up against Heaney. Heaney, 4 ERA, but a 1.4 whip, 740 OPS. Not a single earned run indicator below 4.3. Double-digit walk rate, 39% ball rate. Right, that's a major issue. You can't throw. Think about missing the zone 39% of the time. Even when you can't factor in the ones that's on purpose. And because he's gotten away with a 273 BABIP. Yes, lots of fly balls. But 45 ball, 38 hard hit, 10% barrel. I still think he's lucky the home run rate. So he's been death to lefties, which, again, we've seen in the past. And the Detroit lineup is kind of meh. I forget who rang. I mean, geez. The player we're really looking for is Zach Short, believe it or not. I know. I picked one. Wow. Short is the Tigers' leadoff hitter against lefties, but he hasn't hit for snot against him lately. He's like over his last 15, so I really can't roll that one. I really don't want to roll that one out. The other one is, oh my God, the catcher is terrible. Jake Rogers. But the thing with Rogers is you can't play for him for total bases. He doesn't get on. It's a home run. It's quite literally like a home run or nothing. Right. So Rogers needs what, 5? I mean, you could put a buck on a plus 500 homer for Rogers. Jay, I think that's what we need to be doing more of, right? Because we tend to hit a lot of the things that we talk through, but if it doesn't fit the risk profile, we've been getting away from it when there's nothing to be afraid of. There's no mid, there's no mid. You bet what you want to bet. So I think there's a place for that one. Because Rogers, again, he was the big, it just rang everywhere. It's just ridiculous. He's like, so funny. That's what goes to show, man. The Tigers are so bad right now. But, Rogers he has 6 homers in 40 plate appearances this year against lefties, man. But it's only 14 ribbies. He only has 14 ribbies. Ain't that Tigers so bad? But again, I do 1.5 is always live. But now, again, the same way I mentioned of team total and almost up in that rate. Before you do that, you check out the bullpen. Texas bullpen, man, they've been improving. 106 whip last 47 innings. Very good. Batting average at 199, 6% barrel. Actually pretty good. Bullpen stuff happens in spurts, but like Spores is coming on, Reddy's back. So I don't know. It's tough, right? What do you call an average bullpen? I guess it depends. What does the full game look like, Jay Bird? Like if that was 3.5, maybe that's good. If it's 3, it's a yes. 3.5, it depends on the juice. 4, probably let it go. We're talking Tigers full game team total here. Going up against Haney, looking for some dung action, some hot dung action. 3.5 minus 118. Oh man, they put me up against the wall. Ah, shoot. I'm gonna say nay. Even though I'm looking at the splits now, Haney at home this year, 267 BA allowed, 840 OPS, 5.4 ERA. I mean, geez, he's been so bad. The boy's been just as bad on the road. Far Sports, I'm on every over available here. Yeah, this one also has a chance to just completely spin out of control. You know what? Let's reach into the crowd for this one, Jay. And let's price out the overs and go with one of those instead, right? I mentioned, I don't want to back up. I don't want to be too contradictory. Before I mentioned isolating variables, this I truly believe in. However, where would you make an exception? It's for the best team in the league, right? Why would you make it? Almost seems silly, right? That the variable we eliminated is the Texas offense against Boyd, who has a 7.5 ERA in the road, right? So let's go with Far Sports here. Again, and I mentioned, the one thing I'd like to stick with though is let's stick with what I mentioned before and going full game overs. Okay, so let's go full game. We got 9 on this one. I'm a bit surprised. Wow, if there was a second 8.5, that's what you really want, but I don't think we could trust that one. So let's go 09. Right around even money. I'm into that. I think that's funny. You feel like generally if you see a minus 105, you can almost generally find the next half run down. So I don't know. There's full menu there. So I guess not. But let's go 09. Let's do that. Let's go with Far Sports. Yeah, let's go 09. Why eliminate Texas against Boyd? I mentioned the Boyd road struggles. We want to get exposed to the Texas offense. 263 team BA, 779 team OPS, but only 21K to 9 walk. That's beautiful. 29 chase. They do not chase. Tons of contact. 42 fly ball, 42 hard hit, double-digit barrel is a 340 WOBA. Also, these teams, I missed this one also. Both of the teams in the top 3 expected WOBA last 30 against lefties. I know I mentioned Detroit maybe not believing it, but that number is at 371. Texas at 361. So let's go over the 9 here. I'm gonna practice what I preach. I'm gonna post this one for subs later on as well. And again, if you're into it, you can follow for free. You can pay if you want. I just use it to upgrade all my stuff. I don't put any of the stuff in my pocket. I'm looking to actually lower the price if you're into the data stuff. I want to make it available for everybody, and I always felt like a quarter a day was pretty good. If you're, again, unfamiliar, welcome aboard. 6 days a week, we're bringing, gosh, what do you even call this? Everything. Advanced starting pitcher sheets, split team data, bullpen data. I run the algo, implied team total, starting pitcher ranks, right? Just about every damn thing. When I have time, I do player props, so I've been writing a lot lately. So that's the thing that falls to the wayside. So let's go 09, move it on up to the west side. To a little ball game in the sky. It's Dylan Sop, cease, and desist. Plus 115 dog. He's been looking good as of late. On the road against the Halos, my boy, Reed Detmers, looking good as of late. And I think, it speaks to where, gosh, I am like, kind of got nailed. The data scientists hate me. Because when it comes to pitching, man, I do like recent data more than old data. And again, it's what choked up my model. And it always happens when they change offensive environments and you look to old, larger samples for pitchers. Yeah, everybody let me know. Had that Alec Manoa thing will turn out. You still betting him? You know what I mean? Pitching for the Pickles or whatever. Dylan Cease, 4.2 ERA, 1.32 whip. But again, right, it doesn't. Excuse me, I'm dying, yo. Allergies, we're springing up over here. The weather's starting to get warm. I don't think it really tells a tale of these guys like Cease and Strider, even, that have these tremendous upsides. Yeah, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs in his last 4 outings. He went 6-2, 9 strikeouts the one before, 5 1/3, 2 earned, 10 strikeouts. So that's the guy we're looking for. I mean, a lot of the earned run indicators, you wouldn't be buying this because a lot of the earned run indicators above 4, double-digit walk rate, 38% ball. Cease has to live on the Ks, and that's what's coming now. So again, if you're into the more recent stuff, I think what we've seen is more what we're going to get. And I know there are people looking for the Cease regression game. I think we've gotten kind of the Cease regression wave. See the difference in understanding. Again, there is no absolute answer. I don't try to pretend I have. Detmer's flip side. Again, 4.02 ERA and a 1.32 whip. Really kind of unimpressive. The season stuff just not great. Some of his indicators are pretty good, though, right? XFIP and Sierra at 3.8. 19 came on his BB, 13 swing and strike, 29 whiff, 82 zone contact. Those are all the things we like. He suffered from a 3.43 BABIP as well, so you probably just on the surface be looking for some regression. But he has got hit hard, right? 45 ball and 40 hard hit. Going to get, even if you've limited barrels the way he had. Detmers as of late, though, one of the better pitchers like in the league. So that's what I mean. This is always, it's not recent, and sine wave now, and regression. Has there been a better pitcher in the last 3 starts? You know what I mean? Maybe not. Detmers has been filthy, showing us all the things we look for. I was like one of his big, train conductors last year after the demotion. Came back with new fastball shape and that dope slider. And that's what we've seen. In the last 3, he's been filthy. Went 7. 2 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 8 Ks. Start before, 6 innings. 3 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 8 Ks. 5 2/3, 8 Ks, 1 earned. He's been mowing him down. Yeah, you don't want to be falling in love with the old stuff. I mean, again, there were hints. They've been there. 1.5 blast, 693 OPS of the season. The hints were there. So you might get some people say, oh, I see what's underneath. But I think both of these pitchers pitching their balls off, so I'm probably leaving this one alone. The reason I say that, something like, we could check the algo. Now, the algo is technically over. Though if you're really good at reading it, it's more of a split. Below 2 on one side is obviously below 2. The other side, 2.4, is not like a super strong 2, so I don't know if you get to clear 4.5. By the way, is that F5 4.5 or 4? I thought I saw 4. I'd go under 4.5. Yeah, I'll dig on that, Jay. Let's dig on that. I don't want to be a coward. Let's go on there because I'm digging these guys. I think we're mowing them down. Quick look at the offenses. Chicago stinks to high heaven right now. Just atrocious. Bottom 5 in runs, average, OBP, walk rate, swing, strike rate, chase rate. That's going to hurt them today. They're a ground ball machine. 46 ground ball, 30 hard hit, 90 WRC plus. Also, bottom 5 ex-WOBA against lefties last 30. So the White Sox should basically dominated. They have hit home runs. I'm not too worried, though. And the LA offense has been very good. Agreed. But again, when Cease's Mo is going, he's extremely tough for 15 outs. And again, even if he gives up, I got like a 3-1 here, right? 2-2-3-1 max. So let's hit that under 4.5. I really like that. Excuse me again. I don't know what's going on. I'm falling apart. We got 1 game left and right on time. Hope you enjoyed the show. Rate, review, and subscribe. Notification button, like button, all that stupid stuff. Audio only people holler at us on Twitter. Jump on over to YouTube, press the like button. Get up in the comments. Check out all the stuff. I'm looking at it now. I have to go back and check it. Insight, Fire Sports, Damani dropping like hockey dimes with Jaybird. I see lots of plus signs in the comment section trying to distract me. But I'm telling you, the most plus EV comment section, looking at you, Brian Rose, as well. There's some sharp-ass people around here. I take that to, it means so much to me. Like, I guess I've always been that type. I don't care if of course, I want the views to be highest, and the biggest crowd and all that stuff. But for the time being, I'll take the most ferocious, right? Like 300, right? Oh, I think I'll have it then. We're 300. That's us. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of have a Spartan feel. Oh, my goodness, Jay, I'm thinking this. This is call to the pen. This is madness. This is madness. Yeah, this is call to the pen. Boom, right in the pit with you. Boom, taking out armies of millions with our lonely 300. Michael K is on The Nats team total, I don't believe. Wait, 2.5. Our Nats, what a smack in the face. Let's cover up the last one. It's our Nats and T-Dub, Trevor Williams, plus 210 dogs. Oh, my goodness, they're always tempting us. But it's my boy, Luis Castillo. I love Castillo. And the Mariners, minus 265. Oh, my goodness. Mike, I'm going up against you because I posted. I can't watch. I'll show you why. Trevor Williams, 4.14 ERA, 1.4 whip, 7.99 OPS. He stinks. Just a guy at best. XFIP, came on his walk, and Sierra all above 4.8. Expected ERA at 5.25. 10% came on his BB, 8% swing and strike, 24 CSW, right? All the stuff you kind of retch at. 19% whiff, 89 zone contact. So he's living in the zone with the 12% barrel rate, and he's getting lucky as all hell, in my opinion. Lefties have a 293 BA, 816 OPS, 1.4 homer 9. Righties 240 BA, but a 2 homer 9. I think Williams gets served up today. My boy Castillo, 289 ERA. That's a 1.05 whip. I love Castillo. 637 OPS. All the indicators, nothing above 4, but nothing below 3.5. Again, I don't misframe. 29K to only 7 walk. Remember, that was an issue. 21K on his BB. 15 swing and strike, 30 CSW. Check, check, check. 34% ball rate. Check. 33 whiff. Check. Just short of the bully metric. 65 first strike, 33 in the third O swing. But a 300 X-Wall, but right in the nose. Sorry, I almost fell out of my chair, stumbling there. Far Sports on the Mariners. That's what I got. Let me see if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. And again, right, I'm very open and honest. So I've always been a kind of general market bettor. That was always my thing. I like to take the hardest test. Betting the team totals and right betting like an idiot, right? According for betting, you should be looking for the most plus EV stuff. Anyway, not say avoiding props. Then when they became more popular, doing the big, more popular ones, total bases, strikeouts. Even that I'm just getting into. But now I'm seeing really, really sharp people, Insight, take care, seeing really sharp people get into these more niche stuff, but the pros on DK, right? Everywhere. I got Luis Castillo to record a win at minus 110 at the very least. So I don't know if you got that one, Jay. If you got it, I'll take it. But you got the Mariners like minus 300. The cover was like minus 160. If they're going to win, Castillo probably win at least 5. And they probably scored more runs, right? They probably scored more runs than the Nats. I think they're set up really well. So I really like that. Yeah, hit that, man. Hit that. Again, I've never actually bet this before, so I just like to be honest. Jeff L., my man, has the Nats scoring some runs. I mean, again, would we think he's crazy? Castillo surrendered 10 runs in his last 2. Although I think now we're buying the dip. Because before that, it was 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 6 and 8. I mean, mowing him down. And in that span, 1 home run that span or no home runs that span. Again, he was so great. Right? Think about it. Even with that, giving up 10 earned runs in the last 2, till sub 3 ERA, almost a 1 flat whip. So I'm going to still back my boy. And I also like the win prop because I think distance is in his favor, right? Washington doesn't strike out; they make a lot of contact, so I think that'll help. Right, that'll help him along. Tons of ground balls, right up my alley. Will Washington score? I never go up. I never want to say Washington's not going to score. We love Washington, but that's part of it, right? They get a lot of balls, could be in play. So again, I'm not Jeff. Right, I hear you. It's not that I don't like it, although I would be thinking, would you rather the team total, right? Because just in case. The team total or the game total even, right? Because this is just about cutting variables. And again, I'm not right. You're not wrong. We're just different here. T-Dub probably going to get hit up, right? So why miss that one? Or if you think the Nats are going to score, right? That's the thesis. How does that go wrong? Well, scoring goes wrong if they score more than you do. The thing with the plus 1.5 is the only thing that shuts you out of is 1-0. So I would generally lean towards a F5 1.5. Then a plus 1.5, especially in this scenario. So hopefully that was a mini feather in the cap. Something to think about as we do this analysis together, spinning on a flaming rock through the universe, if you know what I'm saying. And that'll do it, everybody. Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Big Johnny Stud on the 1s and 2s. We love you very, very much. Really, your participation and the time spent here really means so much. That's why I always try and shout out the crew members in the chat to take the time for us, but also now I'm like, man, maybe you should be thanking me, right? People in here making more money than I am. Ridiculous. But that's what it's all about, man. The community that we built here. As we're charging, I think close to, we're charging towards 700 subs, Jay, I think, which was kind of a personal goal of mine for the entire year. And I think we may have even hit that. So, it's all about reasonable goals. Oh, 662. All right, the charge for 700 is actually on. Look at that. Oh, we can't. 38 more. Thanks for the math, dude. So please rate, review, and make sure you subscribe. If you know 38 people, tell them to subscribe to the show. Let's get to 700, and then we'll start the march to 1K. And then at 1K, I'll give away something really cool. Scratch that, reverse it, as Willy Wonka would say. Jay, hit us with a rolling it back. 762 subs. Thank you. So if you know 62 people that don't like the show, tell them to unsubscribe. From J&J, man, we really care about you. You know that. I wouldn't put up the effort that I do, right? I could sit in the chair and just, I can BS. But I make sure that we're bringing you the data, we're bringing you the smoke, bringing you the splits that matter, and the way to apply it. So we do appreciate you. Enjoy the day. And when we're done with the book, enjoy that pay. Take care, everyone. We will check you tomorrow. Thunder Dan lined up for next Friday on the live show. Man, we love those. And remember, not only when you work this hard does it feel like luck. Keep an eye out for those daily K prop leads. I love that stuff. See you tomorrow at noon, yo. Peace.